Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos and welcome to part 4 of my Assassination Rogue PvE guide. This part will update parts 1, 2, and 3 based on what just happened with patch 8.1. Now the biggest changes to Assassination Rogue this patch were the introduction of 2 new Azerite traits. One of them is called Nothing Personal, and it empowers your Vendetta to deal some damage and also grant you some energy over the duration. This replaced Poison Wire, which was a pretty anemic single target trait. Nothing Personal is actually quite a good single target trait. This is a set of sims for single target, where you're playing Toxic Blade, and even though Nothing Personal is actually down below all these other traits here, if you look, that first stack of it is actually worth quite a lot, because only that first stack gives you the energy bonus, and that's worth quite a bit, but then the second and the third stacks aren't worth as much because they don't have the same benefit. Nothing Personal is quite good though. Yeah, I would recommend, if you've got a good item level piece of it, running one on single target is a good thing to do. Particularly if you're playing Toxic Blade instead of Exsanguinate. If you're playing Exsanguinate, you're going to get less value from the energy during your Vendetta, because your Vendetta is going to line up with an Exsanguinate, and an Exsanguinate gives you a lot of extra energy regeneration, so you're less likely to need the energy. Nothing Personal has also got a little bit of anti-synergy with Haste for similar reasons, because if you have the Haste, you're going to need the energy less in your Vendetta, whereas if you're budgeted more into other stats, you're going to benefit more from having extra energy. This trait does fall off pretty dramatically once you start adding more than one targets, so I would really only consider it on single target encounters, and not in Mythic Plus. The other trait that 8.1 added, you can basically think of it as the exact opposite of Nothing Personal. It's called Echoing Blades. It makes your Fan of Knives hit harder, and it also means that for each of the first 5 crits that Fan of Knives does every time you cast it, there will be a smaller Fan of Knives at that location. So this is very, very good in AoE and pretty much worthless on single target. You basically are not going to use this for any raid encounters ever, but it's worth considering, and it's competitive in Mythic Plus, particularly on fortified weeks where the important parts of the dungeon are those trash pulls. Obviously it has very little utility on the tyrannical bosses themselves, so if that's what you need, if you need DPS on single target, don't take any Azerite traits like this, but this is a sim from a dungeon damage profile, and you can see that Echoing Blade is actually quite competitive. It's the second best trait just behind Shrouded Suffocation, which if you've watched my earlier guide, you know is very, very broken, so being second best to Shrouded Suffocation is not a bad place to be. A lot of rogues are in fact running 1 or 2 Echoing Blades traits, particularly because the Uldir Raid helmet has Echoing Blades on it, so a lot of people have switched over from Archive to Echoing Blades on that slot. You can also change your talents to make Echoing Blades a little better. You could play Master Assassin, which the problem with Master Assassin, the reason you can't really do that realistically is that if you have any Shrouded Suffocation traits, you need to be playing Subterfuge on that row. But if somehow you're not playing any Shrouded Suffocation traits, the most realistic way I could think of for this to be happening is if you're playing 3 Echoing Blades pieces, then you could get away with Master Assassin and maybe have a lot of success with that, because of course Master Assassin means that you're going to get many crits in your first couple Fan of Knives, and that's going to do a lot of extra Echoing Blades nonsense. You can also play the Hidden Blades talent, but I think that that is a trick. You shouldn't do that. Crimson Tempest or Poison Bomb, depending on the situation, are still going to be better, in my opinion there. Echoing Blades also changes your stat priority a little bit. You should be more interested in Critical Strike when you have Echoing Blades. Maybe change your gems over, maybe change your enchants over, because of course it keys off crits, so the more crit you have, the more likely you are to get those extra Fan of Knives sprays, and that's what makes the trait good. All in all, great trait for Mythic Plus, very bad trait for Raid. Thanks for watching this quick update to my Assassination Rogue guide. Still working on all the other parts to it. Those will be coming soon on my channel, which you can subscribe to up there. Check out my other videos, the other parts of this guide that I have already got going. I've also got dungeon guides, affix guides, all sorts of stuff there that you may enjoy if you enjoyed this video. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.